President, Commissioner, ladies and gentlemen, the United Nations conclusions regarding Poland and its legislation on abortion are very worrying. They are based on an intervention in the sovereignty of a country so as to impose an agenda which is a violation of the most fundamental right, the right to life. There is no right to abortion. If we look at the 1978 Convention on Discrimination of the Women, there is no reference to this issue. It's shameful that the United Nations believe that it can demand legislative changes to states which are in violation of their own constitutions, that it includes reference that it tries to manipulate the situation with cases where women's lives are in danger. It's not these women who are being worried. Some people call for free abortion without any time limits. What we're talking about here is a commitment to the most weakest members of society, unborn children and their mother. Intervention in other states, which have become increasingly permissive with their legislation, weaken the position of pregnant women, and they are subject to enormous pressure when it comes to taking this terrible decision. Abortion is a failure. The health services might try to hide this, but this is against the oath taken by doctors. It's quite unacceptable that we continue to act against this principle. What about the trust in the doctor-patient relationship? The United Nations are, in effect, violating the basic dignity of human people. Those are fundamental rights which can't be called into question. Thank you.
Madame de la Pisa Carrión. Madam. We have a blue card request from Mr. Gonçalves. You have the floor.
Muito obrigado, Sr. Presidente.
Thank you very much, President. Thank you, President. Maybe you weren't informed. This isn't a debate on whether abortion exists or not. It's on decriminalizing abortion. Huge difference. Now, no matter what your position may be, no interpretation? You can continue. We are interpreting. No language has been chosen here. Madame de la Pisa Carrión. I don't think there's an interpretation problem. If you perhaps turn your microphone off while the other member is speaking, could you repeat maybe? And then we'll have an answer. Madam, I'm sorry to tell you, this isn't a debate on whether or not abortion exists. It exists, has done for years, will continue to do so. The debate today is on criminalization of abortion. And we know, in Portugal, in Spain, in Poland, when abortion is criminalized, those who suffer the most are women, psychologically, mentally, physically. My question, therefore, very simple. Do you agree or not agree with the right for women to decide on their own health and about their own bodies? Thank you. 30 seconds to answer.
I think that the right which a woman has is to protect her pregnancy. That's a fundamental right for women. There are permissive legislations which allow abortion to go ahead if women just feel like having an abortion. You don't seem to be worried by that. You seem to be talking about the situation of women, but you don't realise there's real discrimination here. Some women can't have children because of their economic situation or a lack of support. Sometimes their life's made difficult for them by a man. Or sometimes they're pregnant after being raped, for example. You don't seem to worry about those situations. The simple proposal that abortion can happen is a threat to women. Women want to be pregnant, they want to be looked after, they want to be able to welcome and embrace their children.
Madame, merci.
Thank you. If you could stay for a moment, would you accept a second blue card from Madame Garcia Emedan, who has the floor for 30 seconds.
Merci, le Président.
Thank you. Madam, you said all of us have a right to our life, our dignity. Did Isabella Chabot, in your view, not have the same right to her life, her dignity? She was 30 years old.
When the life of the woman is at risk, nobody questions the fact that decisions have to be taken in that sense. I'm not aware of all the details in the case you refer to, but when we're talking about a risk to the woman's life, the speaker's interrupting. If you want to work with professionals from the medical sector, they're not even able to allow the patients to take decisions in full conscience. The fact is, medical rules demand the opinion of more than one medical professional. Look, I'm delighted to be able to answer your question, but in Poland, the situation regarding risk to a woman's life during a pregnancy, that's a medical decision. That's a decision taken in the hospital. The President bangs his gavel.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we have a third blue card. Irene Montero, 30 seconds. Madam, I think you're fully aware that people are lying because the legislation that exists is endangering women's lives. You know, there's no less abortions when it's illegal. What happens is more women are endangering their lives and they die trying to make decisions over their own bodies. What kind of cruelty do you think is right if you have countries where more than half of the population's lives are at risk? Women's lives.
I would like to thank my colleagues. You've given me the opportunity to exchange views on a question which, as you know, is of enormous importance to me. So thanks once again for giving me this opportunity. Irene, are you aware of the social impact of legislation such as that we have in Spain? What kind of message are we sending out to society, to children, to women, when we say that we have a problem with fertility, when we say that pregnancies are a problem? We're just abandoning them. We're closing the door to them. We're saying not welcome. We should be a society which celebrates life, which welcomes life. The President interrupts.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Thank you. Continuing then with the debate, I'd like to give the floor now to Madam Gosiewska.